So you've got the source code for Bitcoin Core. But have you ever stopped to think about how that a bunch of folders and text files actually becomes a working piece of software? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the very first and maybe most important step, configuration. Right, so you've downloaded the source code, you open it up, and wow, it's a whole digital world of files and folders. The big question is, how in the world do you transform all this raw material into a program you can actually run? It's not magic, I promise. It's a really smart, carefully planned out process. And that whole process kicks off right here with a plan. Think about it like this. You wouldn't just start building a house without a blueprint, would you? Of course not. You check out the land, see what you're working with, and draw a plan that fits. That's exactly what we're doing here, creating a custom-made blueprint for your computer. So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll get into why we even need to configure things. Then, a crucial step that, trust me, you don't want to skip. After that, we'll get our hands dirty generating the scripts we need, run the main configuration, and even check out how to tweak the build to your liking. And then you'll be all set for the next big phase, compiling. Okay, so why do we have to do this? Why bother? Well, configuration is all about laying the groundwork. It's kind of like a reconnaissance mission. The script we're about to run goes and scans your entire system. It checks your operating system, what software libraries you have installed, all the little details it needs to create a perfectly tailored set of instructions. And the tool that does all this snooping around is the configuration script. Its whole purpose in life is to create this one special file called a makefile. Now, this makefile, that's the real prize here. It's the super detailed instruction manual that the compiler is going to follow step by step in the next stage. No makefile, no software. It's really that simple. All right, now before we type a single thing into the command line, we have to do the one thing everybody, and I mean everybody, is tempted to skip. Read the manual. Seriously, in coding, just like in woodworking, you gotta measure twice, cut once. Spending a few minutes reading the documentation right now is gonna save you hours of headaches later. You can thank me later for this one. And the good news is, the Bitcoin Core devs have made this super easy for us. If you look inside the source code, you'll find a folder named doc. This is your treasure map. It's got specific build guides for pretty much any system out there. Linux, Windows, Mac OS, you name it. These files are like a checklist, telling you exactly what you need to have installed before you even begin. And this quote right from the documentation really says it all. The main thing to get here is that these prerequisites, they're not optional. If you're missing something, the build will fail. It's not a suggestion, it's a rule. Okay, we've read the manual, we've installed all our dependencies, we are ready for our first command. And this is where it gets kind of cool. We're about to run a script whose only job is to create another script. It's like a blacksmith forging the hammer they're going to use to make the sword. It's a simple two-step dance. First, we run a script called autogen.sh. That little guy builds the big, powerful configure script we've been talking about. Then we run that configure script, and that's what creates our final blueprint, the makefile. And this is what it looks like. You just pop open your terminal, navigate to the source code folder, and type ./autogen.sh. Hit enter. Boom! With that one little command, you've kicked off the whole process and created the main tool we need for the rest of this journey. And now it's time for the main event. We've just created our configure script, and it is time to set it loose. This is the moment of truth. This is when our system gets put under the microscope, and that custom blueprint, our makefile, is finally created. The command itself couldn't be simpler, just .configure. But don't let that fool you. When you press enter on this one, you're unleashing a very sophisticated script that's about to get to know your system really, really well. You're going to see a ton of text just fly by on your screen, just like this. The script is running all these little tests. It's checking for different libraries, checking their versions, checking for system tools. It's basically asking your computer 100 questions. Hey, you got this? What about this? Is this the right version? It's building that perfect picture it needs. And then, after a minute or so, if everything went to plan, it'll just stop. No scary error messages. That's the moment we're looking for. It means the script found everything it needed, and your custom makefile has been born. You, my friend, are officially configured. But hey, what if you don't want just the standard out-of-the-box version? This is where configuration gets really powerful. You can actually customize the software before you even build it, telling it exactly what features you want, or more importantly, what features you don't want. To see all your options, all you gotta do is run that same configure command. But this time, add -help at the end. This will open up a whole menu of different ways you can tailor the final program to be exactly what you need. And here are just a few of the really common ones. For example, disable wallet. Well, it does exactly what it sounds like. It builds Bitcoin Core without any of the wallet functionality. Or maybe you're running a server and you don't need the graphical interface. Easy. You just use with GUI equals no. These little flags give you so much control. So we've run the configure script, maybe even with a few custom options. How do we know we're actually ready to move on? How can we be sure we're ready for the next big step, the compilation? Well, it really just boils down to two possible outcomes. If it fails, the script will stop dead in its tracks and spit out an error message. 9 times out of 10, this just means you missed one of those prerequisites. So the fix is easy. You read the error, install what's missing, and just run /configure one more time. But if it succeeds, the script will finish quietly. Your makefile is created and you are good to go. You're ready to compile. So there we have it. The groundwork is officially laid. Your custom blueprint is finished and the detailed instructions are all written out. But a blueprint is still just a plan on paper, right? The real question is, how do you actually turn that plan into a finished building? We'll get into that next time.